A second passport through investment starting from just 90,000 US dollars in only 6 weeks with no citizenship restrictions? Is that even possible? Greetings! My name is Alexei Nosovsky, and I am head of the legal department at the international company iWorld. With the increasing regular pressure, restrictions on international financial transactions, and reduced mobility for citizens of several CIS countries, a second citizenship is more and more often seen not as an immigration step, but as a tool for legal and financial diversification. For entrepreneurs, investors, and highly qualified professionals, having an alternative jurisdiction is becoming a fundamental part of risk management strategy. In this context, the Citizenship of Sao Tome and Principe by Investment Program is of particular interest, a government initiative launched in August 2025 that has already carved out its own niche in the investment citizenship market thanks to its combination of cost, processing times, and minimal obligations for applicants. Today, we will break down this immigration program and find out what real advantages a Sao Tome and Principe passport offers its holder. Sao Tome and Principe is a small island nation in the Atlantic Ocean off the west coast of Africa in the Gulf of Guinea region. On the map, these are two islands almost right on the equator. A peaceful, sparsely populated, and politically stable country that rarely makes the news, and that's exactly why it's often underestimated. Historically, the economy here was built around agriculture, especially cocoa, which is why Sao Tome is called the Chocolate Islands. Today, fishing, tourism, and sustainable development projects have been added to that. The country is steadily opening up to foreigners and foreign investment. And we're not talking about Sao Tome just because it's exotic. The reason is practical. The country has a little-known but extremely interesting citizenship by investment program that offers a clear process, minimal bureaucracy, and a number of strong advantages, including the ability to officially change your first and last name and obtain a second passport without any residency requirement. That's exactly why Sao Tome and Principe should be seen not as a tourist destination, but as a tool for mobility, flexibility, and the opportunity to build a long-term life strategy. Now, let's talk directly about the Citizenship by Investment program of Sao Tome and Principe. The Sao Tome and Principe Citizenship by Investment program is based on national legislation and is implemented in such a way that the state grants the applicant full citizenship in exchange for an investment contribution to the National Development Fund. This is not about a temporary immigration status or a residence permit with subsequent naturalization, but about the direct granting of citizenship upon completion of the procedure. The status obtained possesses all the key characteristics of citizenship of a sovereign state. It is lifelong, inheritable, allows for the retention of other citizenships, and does not impose any additional obligations on the applicant beyond the general norms of international law. This fundamentally distinguishes the program from solutions where the status is conditional or subject to review. A key feature of the program is the absence of requirements typical for most alternative investment citizenship jurisdictions. The applicant is not required to reside in Sao Tome and Principe before or after obtaining citizenship, to prove knowledge of the official language, to undergo any cultural or social integration process, or to become a tax resident of the country or move the center of their life interests there. In addition, Sao Tome and Principe citizenship offers specific extra benefits for your business activities. No personal income tax on foreign earnings, and no participation in the CRS, which ensures confidentiality and optimizes your tax burden, easier opening of personal and corporate accounts in jurisdictions with friendly banking regulations, and the ability to establish international holdings in a Portuguese-speaking jurisdiction without automatic exchange of financial information. The application process is entirely remote and designed to minimize the administrative burden on the applicant. All stages, from submitting documents to receiving the certificate of citizenship and passport, are carried out without the need for personal presence in the country. This makes the program especially relevant for people who lead an international lifestyle and are interested in a flexible, legally sound solution without having to change their usual way of living and working. Let's move on to the terms, timelines, and financial parameters of the program. The procedure for obtaining citizenship of Sao Tome and Principe by investment is structured in a clear administrative sequence. With a properly prepared set of documents, the process takes about 2 to 2.5 months from the time of application, document review, due diligence, and decision-making by the competent government authorities. If there are no factors requiring in-depth verification, the timeline can be reduced to about 6 weeks. The financial terms of the program are among the most competitive on the international investment citizenship market. For a single applicant, the minimum investment amount is $90,000. For a family of 2 to 4 people, the amount is $95,000, and for each additional family member, there's a fee of $5,000. In addition, a one-time administrative fee of $5,000 is charged, which covers the costs of processing the application and supporting the procedure. The investments are made through the National Transformation Fund, Fundo Nacional de Transformático, established by the government in 2025. The fund is intended to finance the country's priority development areas, infrastructure projects, renewable energy, educational initiatives, and sustainable development programs. Funds are transferred only after the application is approved and are sent directly to government accounts. At the same time, the fund is subject to independent audit, ensuring transparency and accountability in the use of investments. The program includes a standard international due diligence check. The applicant must be of legal age, have no criminal record, confirm the legal origin of their funds, and not pose any reputational or sanctions risks. Compliance requirements remain moderate, which is a significant advantage of the program compared to more overloaded jurisdictions with lengthy procedures and numerous bureaucratic conditions. Special attention is given to the possibility of including family members. The application may include spouses, children, and parents, and it is also possible to add additional family members after the main applicant has obtained citizenship. Spouse, $10,000, other family members, $5,000, newborn children, $500. This structure makes the program flexible in terms of long-term family and estate planning, allowing the composition to be expanded if needed. So we've covered the requirements, and now we've come to the key question. What is the practical value of citizenship of Sao Tome and Principe? A Sao Tome and Principe passport provides visa-free or simplified access to more than 70 countries, including major international, financial, and business centers such as Hong Kong and Singapore. However, the real value of citizenship goes far beyond visa mobility. In practice, it is used as a multifunctional tool for legal and financial flexibility. First and foremost, citizenship serves as a backup legal jurisdiction. Having a second passport allows the applicant to hold an alternative civil and legal status outside their primary country of residence, providing protection of rights and assets in times of political or economic instability. This is especially relevant for natives of CIS countries, investors, entrepreneurs, and individuals engaged in international business activities. In addition, a passport provides an extra level of status when dealing with international financial institutions and investment platforms. Holding citizenship of Sao Tome and Principe expands opportunities for opening accounts, participating in investment programs, and structuring international transactions, while reducing potential restrictions related to sanctions or local regulations. It is also important to note that citizenship serves as a tool for asset structuring and long-term planning, including matters of inheritance and property ownership. It allows for the creation of more flexible legal structures without requiring a change of tax residency or relocation of one's center of vital interests. And of course, the passport provides additional flexibility in international projects, including participation in European migration and investment programs where direct access may be restricted for certain nationalities. This makes it an important strategic tool when planning global financial and legal structures. The level of confidentiality in the procedure deserves special attention. Obtaining citizenship does not involve the publication of applicants' data in open government registries, which meets the expectations of clients for whom privacy is critically important. Of course, to successfully complete the process while avoiding complications and risks, it is essential to enlist the support of iWorld's experienced immigration lawyers. In practice, the process of obtaining a Sao Tome and Principe passport with the support of our specialists proceeds as follows. The citizenship acquisition process is structured in a clear sequence, ensuring transparency and minimizing risks for the applicant. The main stages include preliminary legal assessment, analysis of the applicant's compliance with the program requirements, and determination of the optimal structure for family participation, risk analysis and compliance check, verification of reliability, origin of funds, and potential reputational risks, preparation and submission of documents, assembling the application package in accordance with all government requirements, support during the due diligence process, interaction with competent authorities, and monitoring the progress of the procedure, obtaining preliminary approval, documentary confirmation of meeting the program criteria before transferring investments, completion of the procedure and issuance of citizenship documents, and finally, the formalization and receipt of the citizenship certificate and passport. Professional legal support from iWorld experts at every stage of the process ensures full control over the procedure, allowing you, dear friends, to go through the citizenship acquisition process as comfortably and simply as possible. Let's sum up. In today's world, entrepreneurs engaged in international activities and investors face a range of risks that can't be fully controlled at the level of a single country. Tax pressure, limited access to international financial instruments, sanctions, difficulties with document legalization, and unpredictable political changes create real threats, both for business and for families. Citizenship of Sao Tome and Principe allows you to reduce these risks in a systematic and legally sound way. Obtaining a second passport creates a backup legal jurisdiction that ensures the protection of your rights and assets, regardless of the political or economic situation in your primary country of residence. It provides flexibility in international operations, including working with banking and investment institutions and participating in global projects where nationality might otherwise limit your opportunities. A tool for long-term family and estate planning, allowing you to transfer assets and status to the next generation without additional bureaucratic or tax barriers. Confidentiality and control, ensuring that applicants' personal data is not published in public registries, while the process remains fully transparent and accountable. For an entrepreneur, investor, or professional who values freedom of movement, financial flexibility, and long-term family protection, this program is a tool that lets you stay ahead of the curve, instead of simply reacting to crises as they arise. Friends, don't put off protecting your assets and your freedom of movement until later. Citizenship of Sao Tome and Principe is a real tool that works right now. Start with a personalized consultation with iWorld's immigration lawyers to find out which program can be tailored to your family, business, and financial goals. We'll help you accurately calculate your investment, structure your application, and guide you through the process until you receive your passport, quickly, safely, and confidentially. All contact information is in the description below this video. Well, that's all from me for today. This was Alexei Nosovsky, head of the legal department at iWorld. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and follow us on social media. See you soon.